News headlines do more to terrify than clarify. I know that is super gitchy, and I could probably end the video right now. But there is no doubt our world has a lot of uncertainty right now. Recession, inflation, and interest rates are all real threats to our personal finances. I recently did a Google search on housing crash in 2022. There were 18 pages of search results. The amount of news headlines circling around about a real estate bubble is frankly ridiculous. Why we are not headed towards a housing crash or bubble is this week's Tanya's Take. The recency effect of the last real estate crash in 2008 weighs heavily on the minds of many homeowners. In fact, my husband and I bought our very first house in 2005, the very beginning of the downward housing spiral. By 2016, when we finally sold it, we did it at a 17% loss compared to the original price. I know we were among many homeowners who were in the same position. For many of us, buying a home is the largest financial transaction of our life. What a huge punch in the face to lose so much money. Having lived it, I definitely understand the anxiety of being a homeowner and contemplating the risk of a large financial purchase losing money. It keeps us all up at night. So, let's alleviate all the emotion and focus on the data. Financial and housing experts have made their forecasts based on all of the data and headlines that we see every day, and they aren't calling for a housing bubble. Listen to me again. Experts are not calling this market a bubble market. Let me give you 3 major reasons why. Number 1, lending standards. Lending standards are nothing like they were during the housing crash. Take a look at this slide. The types of loans and the criteria for buyers to qualify were very lax 15 years ago. Remember the term ninja? It was a loan that required no income, no job, or assets. If you have bought a home in the last 10 years or recently been through the pre-approval process, you know how very different the lending standards are now. Risky mortgage loans, which resulted in lending meltdown, was the number 1 reason for the bubble burst in 2008. Number 2, equity. According to a leading chief economist at First American Financial, as of fourth quarter last year, the national loan-to-value estimate was over 30%. Now, what does this mean? On average, our home values are 30% higher than our mortgage balance. Plus, in this same statistic, homeowners on average have over $307,000 of equity in their home. During the housing crash 15 years ago, owners couldn't afford their homes, plus they had no equity. If they needed to sell their home right now, it would not be at a loss. Number 3, what is fueling the increases in homeowner equity I talked about in my last point? Lack of inventory. Did you know the number of new construction single-family homes built over the last 14 years is below the 50-year average? What does that mean? The number of new single-family homes being built is at a huge deficit. Not having this new construction inventory, plus homeowners staying in their homes longer, about 13 years, plus a large buyer demand has pushed inventory levels to historic lows. In Northern Virginia, the average months of supply of available homes for sale is under 15 days. What does that mean? If no other homes came on the market in our region, we wouldn't have anything more to sell after 15 days. Experts continue to forecast home sales this year will only be limited by supply, not demand. Woo! That was a lot. I know that can be really overwhelming to think about, and I didn't even unpack all of the local housing data, which confirms all of my 3 previous points. No doubt the housing crisis of 15 plus years ago was scary for a lot of people, but it's equally important to remember the underlying fundamentals of this market are very different. Our lending guidelines are far more strict. Homeowners have a lot more equity built into their homes, and many have lived through the crash understanding you don't use your house as an ATM. And we have an incredible housing shortage that is forecasted to last at least the next 2 to 3 years. Agree, disagree, or have a question? Throw me a comment below and let's start a discussion. Oh, and if you like what you see and hear, follow me or subscribe today. Till next time, my friends, remember, don't panic, and that's Tanya's Take.